Like that to me is where this episode's got to end up. She needs to ask something like that of Feanor.
I don't think that that's a reasonable question though. Like I think that can be what's going on in her. Like that's what she's afraid of. Sure. But I don't think
but I think that at some point
I don't see how they can verbalize that. You know what I mean? Like that's an impossible question to really ask without feeling hokey and.
Well, she's gonna ask it after the oath.
After the oath, well, at that point, she already knows that her sons are gone, right?
No. I don't think that. I don't think that that's a no. I don't think that that's necessarily a given. I think at that point she knows that her marriage is toast. Like right. I think she may be aware of that.
Right.
I think that at some level, she's her asking this is acknowledging that she's lost him.
Right.
Can you at least let me keep my sons?
I don't know. That doesn't match the Nerdanel that we built, though. Like, I don't think she would ask. I think she would fight. You know what I mean?
She has been willing to fight with him up to this point. So
that's
if she suddenly is afraid to fight with him, that their split's pretty severe. Because up to this point, she hasn't been afraid to just go at him when she needed to.
Right.
And tell, oh, you're being dumb. This is stupid. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
why are you like this? Like, she's been able to say all that. So if, instead of having a fight, she's a little fearful around him, that's a huge...
Just state that you will not steal my sons from me. I mean, she's wrong.
Right.
But she could say it, yeah.
Could just state, I will not let you.
Yeah, right. I can't see her being, unless she's afraid to lose him, but I don't think that's not the Nerdanel that we built. Well, the Nerdanel that we built would finally would recognize a lost cause when it was in front of her and then change tactics. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what I'm suggesting.
Yeah. So I see your angle, but again, I don't think asking, please don't take my boys away from me. Like that's not Nerdanel. Nerdanel would you're on the right angle now. She would say like I'll over my dead body basically. And it doesn't actually come to that, but it I don't think it's too far off.
She'll beg him after the oath. Please let me at least have one of them. And
let me keep one.
That's what we're going to see happen there.
Right.
But now she has to.
Well, I think even the oath. I think she can say that to him now. Like, you know, she can put it in these terms. I've done everything that I possibly can with you. And you're not into it, but I'll be damned if you are going to turn my sons into whatever it is that you've become.
Yes,
right. And she can kind of throw that
fighting for her sons.
Right. Exactly.
That I can believe.
Like, run your little war games, do whatever, but you're not gonna turn them into your own little worshipful team of cheerleaders. And so that really kind of puts their relationship on ice. Right? She's not trying with him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we could do is we could reference. I don't know how much Nerdanel knows about this.
Mm-hmm.
We could reference the Balrogs. We could have her say something to the effect of that.
I think that's too specific about. The relationship that Melkor and the Balrogs have.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I'm suggesting is that she's in a way also sticking to him, the fact that he's being just like Melkor was being.
Yeah, I don't think she's aware of that. Yeah, I don't think she's aware of that.
Right. Well, that was my question.
I think
my concern was that possibly that was too much information for her to actually know.
Yeah, I think it is. Because the Valar wouldn't have publicized.
Yeah, once they're aware of what Melkor's done, and then he goes back to Angband, and after that, and then they take the oath. That I think is the appropriate moment for her to kind of really get, because she's kind of seen Melkor for what he's been for most of this, right? Or did we make her like Melkor?
No, she was friendly with him at first.
Yeah. Okay.
Which Feanor's supposed to throw in her face, by the way.
Right.
Right.
Well, maybe after the oath is a good time for that then, where she's like, no, wait a minute, you don't get it. Like you're turning into Melkor, and he's like, oh, Of course, after you've shown your true colors as a faithless wife, now all of a sudden I'm the guy that you liked so much, as I seem to recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other opportunity would be for her to have that conversation with him after he closes the door in Melkor's face. Now.
Yeah.
But it's one or the other. Like.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we can get a scene. We can get a scene where maybe as they're coming out of the vaults and the boys are thrilled to death.
You know what? I think it might be kind of. I think the Silmaril should be out of the vault for the little party, but it's just in his little study or office or whatever. So he's got his room, and then the vault is in his room, right? And
yes.
so
he brings them out of the vault. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
When Melkor shows up at the door, this little revelry could still be going on. So he goes out to meet Melkor at the door. Like a page comes in and says, "There's a visitor at the door," and is kind of cagey about who it is. And he gets to the door. He has his little exchange with Melkor. He goes back in and takes the Silmarils away from the little party that his boys are having. They're not he doesn't snatch them away from the boys themselves necessarily, because again, they're not sitting there poking and prodding and cooing. But it changes the light level in the room. Like it's a thing. And he comes in and they notice him, and then he goes directly to the Silmarils without saying anything, and then takes them into the vault and slams the door. And the boys are kind of like, yeah, exactly. And the boys are kind of like, what just happened?
Okay.
Well, the problem is that the last person that he sees before he slams that last door shut has to be Nerdanel in order for the.
Well, she could be running after him as he walks past. Like she doesn't have to be in the room. She could just be following after him, and he slams the door behind him and shuts her out.
Okay, one other alternative is that when he comes back to his study or whatever it is, he kicks the boys out. He tells them to get out. And Nerdanel is standing there in the doorway, and he closes the door on Nerdanel after the boys leave.
The problem is I don't want there to be any dialogue. I just want it to be music and a long tracking shot of him walking through every door.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Gesture to the door, and they can look at each other and leave.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to
that
say
would work.
anything.
Okay. As long as we're not actually hearing anything except music, because this is a moment where I just want it to be all visuals and music.
And
right. So after they leave out, and Nerdanel is now in his office or whatever,
because she's been chasing after him as he's walking. He's
goes into the vault and closes the door on her. So the door to the vault closes on Nerdanel.
Separates the two of them.
But the boys have been kicked out of the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that for it just to be them in that room, and he closes the door on them. On just her. That would be good.
Yeah.
So then we go back out. We get the Melkor being terrifying scene. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Did we get there? Did we have all the scenes we needed in between the fight and the?
Yeah, because I think that if we have this little gathering where they have their little toast in the presence of the Silmarils.
Right.
And we have Nerdanel get him aside somehow. Get in there, get him aside somehow, and talk to him.
I think we can have her be sort of spurred to this by how crestfallen and hurt that they don't get to be part of the party with the Silmarils that the four boys happen to be. This has really screwed them up pretty bad. They're but it's screwed them up in the wrong way. It's that they're like, oh God, we got to be better for Dad. We gotta make sure that Dad loves us.
I kind of wanted that vibe of he's got these adult sons who have never been good enough for him.
Yeah.
And that's got to have done something to them.
Yeah.
And
and they're still trying to be, instead of being of this, they're still trying to be good enough for him.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
and Curfin's the favorite, and he's in the losing team now. So even though he's the favorite, he's still getting shut out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And that like this would be, I think, the first time where they really vocalize. Like, I think we can kind of hint at it as we show his interactions with his sons, especially in this episode in general. Like, he kind of always has like a critical word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean, he's been critical of everybody the whole time for the whole episode. So I think that will be fairly well established, not just with his boys, but with everybody.
right.
And then
So
this
we
is
have
the moment where they have the
kind of-
opportunity to vocalize how, like, the all of the going on in their heads that we haven't really been focused on, because the rest of the episode is about Feanor, because of course it is, comes kind of spilling out in this moment where, you know, they're saying like, we really messed up this time, and you know, he's never gonna forgive us. We have to be better. And she's like, you guys are
involved in this conversation, or is she just overhearing it?
She's over here. I think she can interrupt it and be like, you know, you guys are.
She walks into the room.
Yeah, and they're just kind of all sitting quietly, like staring at a fire or something. Just kind of, maybe one of them is crying. I don't know. One of them could be crying.
That might be a little too much, but they should look like a team that just lost.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
like a high school team that
yeah.
just lost a football game, and they're just
very
the stuff
down. They're saying is way more disturbing than just that, right?
The vibe
that's
is
the
just,
atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she goes from there to the study.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To try
does
to talk
she
to him.
enter immediately, or is her eyes the ones that we get this kind of weird, creepy, cult-like toast?
Have we seen? I guess we saw the setup for it before we went to the losers.
Yeah, we would see that. Actually, that's how I would do it. I would have the toast, and then cut to outside, and then have her go back in.
Her view of it, and it should look creepy and cult-like. I mean,
well, I mean, the lighting should definitely be super weird and bizarre.
Yeah,
and psychedelic maybe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No.
But at that point they're kind of, you know, maybe they could be like sitting and admiring the playing of the lights on the wall or something, but in general they should just kind of, the three boys should be chatting. Like, he shouldn't even be really hanging out with them. He's kind of withdrawn and letting them have their moment. And so she doesn't have to interrupt anything. They're just kind of doing their own thing.
Right. And so she walks up and has the conversation with Feanor, not within their hearing. They can't hear this conversation.
Right.
This is private.
Right. And not only that, but I guarantee you, if they heard that conversation, 100% they're taking Feanor's side in that.
Yeah.
In the aftermath of that. There's no question.
No, they're reveling still, and they're, you know, talking about the awesome maneuvers that each
Did you see
when
Yeah. So
that's not as impressive as when I did that. Yeah. So
again, they're the winning sports team.
Exactly. And they're just kind of oblivious to the world right now.
So Nerdanel and Feanor have their conversation. Somebody comes in kind of with some trepidation because they're walking in on Feanor with the Silmarils.
Right.
Never a good.
Like, he gets up and meets the guy.
Feanor's not in the room anymore, right? Feanor's left the room with the Silmarils?
No, they're still in the room. And they're
I'm not entirely sold on the idea that Feanor would walk out of that room with the Silmarils not locked up.
Right.
I know,
he goes
but at the same time,
Melkor because his hatred for Melkor overrides his
love. So they've got to tell him that it's Melkor.
Yeah, like, the guy doesn't come into the room. He knocks at the door twice, and Melkor comes out, or Feanor comes out, and he's like, are you high? What are you doing? Like, this is a private moment. I'm gonna have you flayed, right? And the guy's like, I know. And he gets, like, he kind of glances behind Feanor and like takes a quick, you know, look at the Silmarils, and Feanor notices it and like advances on him, like pushes him out of the room so that he can't see it anymore. And he says, I wouldn't have disturbed you, sir, but there's a very important visitor at the front gate, and we don't necessarily get who it is, but it cuts to him It cuts to him opening the gate, basically.
Okay. So he opens the gate, goes out, and basically engages with Melkor on the doorstep.
Right.
Because
I don't care
how much into Melkor's space Feanor gets. He's not going to bully him out the door.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get to come in. Feanor opens the gate and walks out and closes it. Maybe not all the way, but he doesn't.
Feanor stands between the gate and Melkor.
Right.
So
because somehow in his head that's gonna make.
Well, yeah, okay. So that makes I like that better. Here, because I think he leaves the door wide open because he's just like you're the least of the Valar, and I'm not afraid of you. That's
he's got his sword on him.
Yeah, of course he does.
And his helm, and like he's decked out.
He came not just to parlay, but
to impress,
make a show of strength. Yeah, which is laughable.
But he doesn't realize how laughable it is.
Of course he doesn't.
So he gets out there. Melkor is, I mean, and this has kind of been gone over quite a bit, but Melkor is trying to make the case that they need to work together. That look what the Valar have done to you. You know, they're going to do this to everybody. You know, we should work together. You know,
and Feanor's more or less listening to it, not responding to it. Or at least part of, so that the viewer doesn't really know what Feanor's take on this is.
I would like for him to turn away from Melkor, like right before Melkor brings up the Silmarils, though.
Yeah.
Then when he turns back on Melkor, we know
he's having none of this.
This is not. That was the wrong thing to say. Like, there's going to be that kind of dramatic, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a very good actor, but you get my idea.
Yeah.
Basically, the way I would want the conversation to go, or his thought process to go, is, what are you doing here? You know, scrubby little nothing. And then, but this is the first time that somebody has kind of said all of the things that he thinks about the Valar. Like this is literally the only other person who says these things about the Valar. Right. And so he kind of goes like, well, I mean, you're saying all of the right things. But before it goes any further than that, it gets to the Silmarils, and he's like, oh, I see. I see what this is. All right. No.
Right, because he brings up the Silmarils with Feanor's fear that someone's going to take the Silmarils from him.
Right.
So as soon as he does that,
that's when the veil falls away.
Exactly. At that point, Feanor's like, yeah, okay, I see. You want to steal my Silmarils?
What your angle was on this, but now I get it. And you can go.
Yeah.
Do something.
So he slams the door shut on Melkor.
Right.
Yeah, apparently we need to have the Jump Crow Fandus line.
Yes. Yeah, there's no way.
Well, I mean, honestly, that line doesn't strike me when I read it in the text all that powerfully.
Jail Crow, it's such a good word. Like,
it's not a bad line, but the powerful line is, and then he shut his door on the face of the most powerful being in Arda.
That's the thing, is that it's that
those they're married. Those two lines are married.
But here's the thing, that there's two things going on here. One, on screen, that line is going to be the powerful part at first. That's going to be the thing that's going to resonate, because nobody is there saying, and he shut his door.
I know, and that's the thing, is the line I like is not dialogue. So it's
right.
Well, that's the thing, is if you
our version of that though is him walking back in the house and slamming every door.
Yeah, all the doors.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go back out and we see Melkor quite nearly lose his mind and melt the entire place.
Right.
True.
Like he's on the brink of, do I just take my revenge now, or do I wait and make it a better revenge? Like he's very on the line of I don't know which revenge to take.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we have to see.
Should I incinerate this little schmuck and then really be in trouble? Or should I?
You gotta know that that's crossing his mind right now.
Yeah.
Right now, it's crossing
raise
his
this
mind.
little spit of nothing to the ground, like I raised so many, fortress mountains and raised all the valleys and blah blah blah. Or should I just hold on to this, let it get cold, and then savor that revenge when it's fully formed?
Yeah.
Right. So that's our main story.
Yes.
Okay. And the tag there kind of is just we get the walk back from the gate.
Yeah.
The scene with Melkor, and then we go out into the frame. That's our tag. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the frame, or do we want to just save that for when we have more information?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing with the frame, so I have no. I don't think we should go back to the frame at all. Frankly, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's super powerful. I really.
Yeah, we can insert the frame a little before that at some point, but.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
one thing that we missed was in the conversation with Indus, she's supposed to bring up about how Muriel warned her about her son's fate. And so Indus is supposed to kind of remind Feanor, remind Finwë that you need to. I know I did it. Indus is supposed to remind Finwë that Feanor has a very ominous doom.
Yeah.
So, therefore, like,
where would you put that?
Well, I mean, it's
when Indus is visiting in their conversation.
Oh.
But then the question is, does Finwë do anything with that information later?
No, of course he doesn't.
Finwë.
Yeah, he thinks he's doing everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So we see from his actions that he just disregards that.
Yeah.
It's not that he disregards it; it's that he thinks he's already doing everything he should be doing.
Okay.
And it's working beautifully.
Yeah. Okay. I just
really going according to plan.
That was one thing that we kind of left out. I wanted to make sure we.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We got it.
Alrighty. Cool. Anything else?
This is going to be an awesome episode. I really wish I could see it.
Oh yeah. It's yeah.
I mean, letting me plan an episode that's like only the Sons of Feanor as your characters. I'm like, oh, this is what this project should be all the time.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that you did not help me rescue.
I know. I'm really sorry.
You just wanted to have this episode. I get it.
Pretty much.
I will say that I think we needed this episode mostly because there is not enough room for Feanor to be as well understood as I think he needs to be to make all of his big moments resonate. If we didn't have at least one episode where it's like, oh look, this is the Feanor show. I think it would. There's just too much stuff. Like I am chafing big time at the fact that our seasons are only 13 episodes. I think we didn't I know there were a lot of complaints about there's nothing going on or there's nothing to do in the first season, but I still felt like we had so much stuff that didn't get in, and I definitely feel that now. I kind of think this season ends too late.
Well, my position was to do a Balerion season and then do a Valinor season. You know, do a season that ends with departure of the departure of the Teleri.
Yeah.
And do it the next.
It's insane to me that traveling through Balerion does not get its own season. But I mean, I don't know. Well,
I mean, that's why. I mean, I kind of felt that we had to paint some of that stuff with a very, very broad brush, because of the fact.
I don't think. I think it would have required to write a lot more original stuff, and I understand the reluctance to do that. But like I feel like there are just so many dang stories in the traversing of Beleriand that are never told in any capacity. I'm like, they walked through all of Middle Earth and then Beleriand. Like, stuff happens there. I promise you.
Right.
So, but yeah, it requires a lot of invention and yeah. I know why people would not want to do that.
Well, the question is how much you want to expand, and I hear your point that it makes a lot more sense to just invent and expand to really tell that story. And
because it gives them space to understand the characters more than we have. If anything, I feel we just don't have enough space to understand all the characters we have. And
we don't.
I agree with that. But that's not where we're at. What we're at, though, is the end of this evening's session. And so, if you have watched all of this, thank you. Firstly, if you're watching this live, have a great night. If you're watching this in the future, definitely like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe to these videos because they're awesome. And comment down below if we're getting this all wrong. That said, also check below.
Build our egos. If we're getting it right.
All right. Check out the links, especially for Myth Move 4, June 1st through the 4th of next year. It's going to be awesome. Have a great night, everybody.